Yeah, any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
What about aluminum, sir?
Aluminum too.
10%?
10, no, 25%.
25 for aluminum as well.
25 for both.
Trump just dropped a bombshell on the global steel and aluminum industry, a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports. Could this shake up the markets, hitting India's economy? And what about the investors and industries?
Very simply, it's if they charge us, we charge them.
What actually happened? Why did Trump announce such a thing? Donald Trump has declared war on steel imports, and his reason is very simple. He wants to reciprocate the tariffs. He wants to match import duties that other countries charge on US. But is this the start of a new war trade? Let me tell you a quick fact. The last time Trump did this in 2018, it triggered global trade tensions and Indian exports took a hit. Let's now discuss who will get hit the hardest. Well, Canada is the biggest steel exporter to US with market of 12.8 billion worth of exports, followed by China, then Mexico, then Brazil and then South Korea. But what about India? India is not the biggest player in the US steel imports. However, it will feel the effect and the impact. Although US and India have a trade war history, I'll tell you, this isn't the first time. In 2018, Trump imposed a 25% duty on Indian steel and 10% on aluminium, citing national security and risks. This affected the Indian to up to 1.21 billion worth of exports, adding an extra 241 million in tariffs. In India hit back by imposing duty on 28 US products, including apples, walnuts, pulses. Well, the legal battle continued. India and US stocks took their disputes to the World Trade Organization (WTO), arguing over tariffs, solar energy policies, and steel subsidies. But how are these going to affect the Indian steel and aluminium industry? Let's look into detail. Indian steel exports have already dropped by 28.9% in FY25 from 5.61 million tons to 3.99 million tons. Meanwhile, India has become a net importer with steel imports rising 20% to 8.29 million tons. The key stats from Indian productions are 145 million tons produced last year, out of which 95,000 tons exported to US. And what's the impact? Less than 1% of Indian total production it is. So, do we have to panic now? Not really. But let's take a look into the stocks now. What are the impacts on these stocks? Should you buy, sell, or hold these? Well, Nifty Metal Index fell 3% after the announcement. But here's how the major metal stock reacted. Vedanta Limited was down by 4.4, SAIL was down by -4, Tata was down by 3.27, Jindal Steel and Power by 2.9, JSW Steel by 2.8, Hindalco by 2.49. What are the biggest risks these companies will struggle with? I'll tell you. Higher costs and lower competitiveness in the US. Lower export volumes, reduced revenues, and squeezed profit margins will be the effects. But who are these biggest steel and aluminum exporters from India to USA? Let's discuss who are the top steel exporters. First will be Tata Steel, second is SAIL, and third is JSW. And when it comes to aluminium, it is Vedanta Aluminium and Hindalco Industries. It is said that Indian export 504 million worth of steel and 947 million worth of aluminium to USA in 2023. But with Trump's 25% tariff, these exports may plunge. But I am also not sure with the data how these companies are exporting and the percentage from their total sales. I want you guys to look into that. We already know that the metal industry is going to get affected. But what are the other themes and companies that are associated with this which are going to get affected as well? Well, first is the construction and infrastructure. Because of the higher steel prices and costlier buildings and roads, it might get affected. Automobile industry, the prices of the cars may increase because of the price in the steel and aluminium which is going to get increased. Next will be capital goods and machinery. Expensive equipment will be the next impact. The machines are going to get more costlier. And oil and gas pipelines. The projects are going to get more costlier and expensive because of the tariff. And we can also think of the consumer durables, expensive applications. Ships and aerospaces, building of ships and aerospaces may get more expensive and costlier because of that. And what about the railways, the biggest infrastructure in India? even this is going to definitely get affected. Be aware of the stocks. Well, as an investor, what should you do now? Well, I would recommend do not panic and sell. The policy is not yet officially declared. If the US Congress passes this law, stocks will drop further. But for now, if you are an investor, hold if you are already owning a stock. Wait if you are planning to invest and watch for the dip. Diversify into other sectors like IT, pharma, or FMCG. Well, my final thought is that the full impact will depend on trade negotiations. But if India finds new markets, the damage will be limited. Guys, this is just the beginning. If you want to stay ahead of market trends, subscribe now and hit the bell icon. Will Trump tariff be a bigger new trade war? Let's discuss. See you in the next